But sometimes you'll hear us use words like meditation and then relaxation, and you might think, well, what's the difference? Because sometimes when we sit, they can often feel the same. So the only difference really is that when we do like a formal relaxation, I might say, okay, now we'll do a relaxation. We have a little aim in mind, which is to encourage you to relax and unwind, and we can do that through the words that we use, tone of voice, getting you to visualize different things, maybe to watch the body in different ways. And that has a natural effect of kicking into the relaxation response that's here in the body. So let's just sit for a while. And let's put aside any words like meditation or practice or relaxation. Let's just simplify things even further. Let's just sit here. And what often happens, as soon as we just stop doing anything, you might notice our mind then looks around and goes, oh, okay, we're not doing anything. What's happening? Is there anything to do? And this is when we become suddenly much more aware of our senses. So right now, just pay attention and see what you're aware of in terms of any sounds that might be around. There might not be any sounds where you are, or there might be quite subtle. I imagine that you could almost turn up your hearing with a little secret dial. And see if you can tune into any sounds that you haven't noticed yet. Really quiet sounds. Maybe even your own breathing. And it doesn't matter if you hear anything, or it doesn't matter if you don't. It's an invitation to just explore this moment right now with your ears. Now your hearing is just one of your senses. Let's just hear, even behind your closed eyes, so you might think you're not seeing anything. If you were to focus on the space just behind your closed eyelids, maybe as sometimes we might see in the day, you might see little movements or shapes, little tiny spots of colour, or light or dark. So your eyes are still working, in spite of the fact that your eyelids are closed. And again, it doesn't matter if you don't notice anything, you're just looking. And if you can do this and not expect anything, just let whatever you find be whatever you find. You might start noticing your shoulders drop. What about your body now? So your body too, your sense of touch. Here is another sense. Maybe you might start with just the simple feeling of touch, where either your bottom presses into the chair, or your legs or your feet if they're underneath you, if you're in the sitting position. Basic tuning first to just those parts of your body that are touching something else. Chair, floor, cushion. Maybe being quite specific about which parts of you are touching something. Maybe it's not just, oh, my legs, but which part of your legs? If your feet are touching the floor or something else, then is it just your feet or is it a particular part of your feet? Notice this requires for you to peer a little closer, a little bit more with focus. And sometimes with focus we find there's relaxation. And with the rest of your body too, tune into how your head feels. Balanced here on the neck. Is it hanging forward or backwards? So is there a feeling of tightness in the muscles of the neck? Now if there is, you could just leave it there, or you could see about maybe adjusting your head position. Adjust it in a different way so it's balanced a little more effectively, so that there's not a strain on your neck on any side. And what about your hands? Probably haven't thought about your hands in a few minutes, but where are they? Can you feel them? And then not just feeling them, being aware of your hands, but what is it you can feel in them? Is there some tingling? Is there an itch? Are they resting on something? Can you feel that sense of contact between your hands and something else? And we're not trying to do anything. We're not making anything happen. And yet notice how you feel. And so all this time, of course, you've been breathing. We focused on the breathing through many of the practices today, and now we haven't brought our attention here, but we've been breathing all the same. And how do you know you're breathing? You can feel it, can't you? Your belly moving? Is your chest moving? However you know you're breathing, just observe that, feel that. And you're not trying to make anything happen. You're not judging your breath. And see also if you can just notice that when you're breathing, there's a part of the breathing that we call the in-breath. And there's another part called the out-breath. And these might feel a little different. We're just opening up our senses. And maybe notice that there's been no instructions to relax or unwind, or visualize this or visualize that. You've just paused and just tuned in to what our senses are showing us. And how does it feel? So here we can observe so many things. Sounds can arise. Thoughts can be here. You might feel a particular feeling, an emotion. But these things too are also things that we can observe In the same way that we can feel our hands, maybe the tingle in them. We can feel the breath coming in and the breath going out. We can observe maybe a thought arise and hang around a bit after our attention and maybe disappearing when it doesn't really get much attention. So this really is, we might say, is the essence of mindfulness. So simple, isn't it? We are literally not doing anything. We are stepping away from that doing and thinking mode of mind to the other mode of mind, to sense what's here, to feel. How do we feel? What are our senses bringing us? What do we notice by sitting here? When we sit back and just sense and feel and observe, we might notice that certain things are true here that we may not have noticed before. That thoughts can come and go. We don't have to get involved in them. And we don't have to push them away. They're just something that's happening. Like a radio on in the background. Like the sound of a car going past. There are so many things we learn when we just sit and observe the reality of things. We explore these over the weeks and months ahead, just through simple practices like this.